brilliant. Now coming to the second last franchise, and they have changed their brand image this season. They have changed their logo, they have changed their jersey, they have changed their name, but will it change their fate? So that's what we are going to discuss now. So I'm talking about Punjab Kings. So they have released their $1 million baby Glenn Maxwell, but they have acquired world's number one batsman David Malan. They have spent so much money in acquiring Richardson and Riley Meredith to sort out their death over issues, but have they really sorted those? So we will discuss these questions. So first of all, let's start with their auction strategy. They had an amazing purse, probably the most purse they could have built another franchise from the squad from scratch with the purse that they had when they went to auction. But some of their buys, they just amazed. They just amazed everyone, spending 8 crores on Riley Meredith, spending so much on Jhye Richardson. So were you surprised with their auction strategy?
What were they trying to address with those purchases was more critical, right? So last year, same like for most of the franchises, their death bowling was a big, very big concern. So they were trying to, with the whatever resources available, they were trying to plug that gap. And I believe Jai Richardson and Riley were specifically brought in to address some of those issues, and they did not. And because they had the luxury of the purse, they didn't mind throwing that amount of money. But will they? Are they proven that operators? Time will say. But Jai Richardson has proved that at least in BBL that he can bowl decently during the death. So Jai definitely solved some part of that problem. Riley Meredith is still new in the scene, so but he has got explosive pace and he has performed really well. So I'll be interested to see both of them this year, but I don't think both will fit in the same 11, or it will be tough without disturbing their explosiveness at the top. It will be tough to fit both of these at the in bowling. But I see interesting purchases. I wouldn't say smart purchases, but definitely an interesting choice. And I think Jai will be a crucial contributor this year.
Right, and when we see that for the batting, they have three overseas batsmen: Chris Gale, David Malan, Nicholas Puran. They can play only two of them, and they have two. They have acquired two all-rounders, be it Moses Hendricks or Fabian Allen, but none of them will fit in any 11. And they have three bowlers: Chris Jordan, Jai Richardson, and Riley Meredith, and they have to play two of them because they don't have any other option.
Right. So let's see how their let's go with their 11. Then we'll see how their 11 stacks up. Right. So
Right,
KL has to open.
right,
KL will
definitely.
open, and but we need an explosive KL this year rather than the conservative because they are again playing in all explosive. They are all playing. Most of the games will be at least 80% of their games are in 180 plus above tracks. So he needs to get going at the outside. Then Mayank Agarwal will, they will not try to change that combination too much at the beginning of the tournament. They will take still a conservative route of, I think, KL, Mayank, Gale, and the person who I think is going to be the MVP for this year, and he has to have a big season, which I think he has the potential, is Nicholas Puran. I want Nicholas Puran in this year, also because it gives them even Malan is also a left-hander, but Puran is also Gale and Puran both being left. The top two are right-handers. Then you have two left-handers coming in, and that's the solid core. But in my team, I was able to actually fit in Moses too, because I actually went one bowler light with. I did not pick Chris Jordan, but thinking they might have to go with Chris Jordan also because they need the death overs. But in one option that I had, I took out Chris Jordan. Instead of Chris Jordan, I played Moses and Jai Richardson being the fourth overseas player. To supplement that, I had either Deepak Huda or Sarfraz to come in at number six. One of the Indian options to come in at number six. So that creates their top six with respect to the top batting. And then comes Jai and Shami. And then you definitely play Ravi Bishnoi and Murugan Ashwin.
Right. So in
And
order
if
to
they won't,
do
so this gives them what? if Moses is also playing, and if Moses can give them 2 overs at least, this solves a little bit of their problems and on a little bit of flexibility. But they can either go that route or play two Indian batting options and take out, maybe replace Arshdeep with Chris Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the other option that they can go with. But this is pretty much their first 11, and they unfortunately they do not have a strong. They have somebody like an Ishan Porel who can come in if both Arshdeep and Shami are um, not performing, but they do not have any quality spinning backups, and that's an area that they have to pretty much bank on Murugan Ashwin and Ravi Bishnoi
Vishnoy.
for pretty much every game. So that spinning weakness combined with batters who cannot bowl, bowlers who cannot bat sort of weakness is, I think, the reason they may struggle to get into playoffs.
And another issue that Punjab faced last season was they had three bowlers. So they were using Jimmy Neesham moreover as a bowler. So they were rotating Chris Jordan, Jimmy Neesham, Sheldon Cottrell. None of it was working. So then they ended up playing two Indian bowlers, Shami and Arshdeep, and only one of these overseas players. So, but again, this season, their main issue is that among their top five or top six, they don't have anyone who can give you
Mm.
3 overs for sure. So
Yeah.
again, they have to go with five specialist bowlers, and somehow they have to. So that somewhat weakens their 5, 6, 7. So they have to settle that first. So that will decide how the team will go. So do you think that they have settled the 5, 6, 7 problem?
No, and that is their biggest weakness for this season. Also, is there none of their top order can bowl and none of their bottom can bat.
Right.
And so that's going to be their problem. Last year also they had the same problem, and this year they are continuing with the same problem. They have made some personal changes, not a structural change. So they will continue to struggle. They will have continue to struggle in that one sense. That's they're going to be their biggest weakness, and that is. And they tried Maxwell precisely for that. Somebody who can give them the lower order explosiveness and contribute with the ball as well, and it failed. Jimmy Neesham, same mold, it failed. This year they don't have anybody in that mold, so they have let go of that strategy and they're backing on their top six to just give them the runs and the bottom five to restrict those runs. I think that is the strategy. That is the only strategy they have to go in with because they don't have a choice.
Right. So, but do you think this kind of a situation forces them to play Deepak Huda or Shah Rukh Khan or Jalaj
I
Saxena?
forgot Shahrukh. I forgot
Yeah.
Shahrukh.
Among these three, at least one of them at number six, so that they have that additional bowling option.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sorry. Shah Rukh Khan will be their number six. I forgot about Shah Rukh, even though I just put his SR as his name and I thought. So, yes, Shah Rukh is definitely their number six. Sorry. Jalaj Saxena is an interesting option in spinning tracks in wherever uh, or if Ravi Bishnoi and Murugan Ashwin are not having the tournament, a good tournament, then Jalaj can definitely come in. He's an all rounder and he had a decent domestic season. So Jalaj can be a very good addition actually. Now thinking aloud, if they either as a enforcer at the lower order with who can bat a little bit more, and also he's a very good finger spinner. So or sorry lefty spinner. So he I think he if the combination permits, he will definitely get a throw in. But their opening combination will be Ravi Bishnoi and Murugan Ashwin.
Right. So with this kind of playing 11 where their lower order comes very early, so once again there will be huge responsibility on their opening combination, especially the two Indian batsmen KL Rahul and Mayank Agrawal, to have a very amazing season and score runs at a faster rate and also consistently.
Correct. And in fact, if they were to gamble a bit, think little outside the box and break all the conventions,
Right.
then why can't they open with Shah Rukh Khan? give him the chance to go express himself. These are not swinging conditions, flat tracks everywhere, and make use of the power play and go express why he's supposed to be a strong hitter, a big hitter in the mold of Pollard is a wrong example because Pollard is a finisher, but he can be tried out at the beginning also, and they can try. That's a good very good option because that will sort of ease the pressure of KL or KL Rahul a lot because KL is starts off not the previous season. Obviously, he was a explosive batsman, but captaincy might bring him I think a sedate approach from Rahul KL. So I think they either open with Gale, go with Gale as an opening back again, or just go throw in Shah Rukh Khan. In fact, like how you had asked for CSK,
Right.
uh, I have a dream of pairing Gale with Shah Rukh Khan at the opening. Give them because Gale takes a little bit anyways to open up. Let them open. Let KL come in at number three, and that will give them a little bit more solidity to their middle order. And Rahul can, he's an excellent player of both spin and he can stay till the end. Somebody who can take through the innings and guide the team, and their not so strong between him and they have Nicholas Puran, but after Nicholas Puran, they are looking at playing. They can play probably somebody like Sarfraz or Mosies because if Mayank is not opening, then he cannot be in the team.
Right.
I don't think he can play at number five and number six. So they can take that approach as well. That will lessen, and if that experiment comes out, it will take off the immense pressure that KL has put on himself, and it will relax the entire team. And Shah Rukh Khan, if I'm not seen him play, I've only followed him through scores. And from whatever I saw some Kumble interviews and a few other players talking about him like DK and all. And if he's half the player of what everybody is saying, and if he can give half the explosiveness of what everybody is claiming, then it is it could change the things, or he could be a finisher too. But I want if I'm in their thinking capacity in their team, I would definitely experiment.
But do you think with this kind of thinking at this kind of lineup, this season we won't find Mandeep Singh getting a lot of games, or probably Prab Simran Singh? So both of these got to play a lot of games in the last season, but due to the squad and the skill set that they bring, so we won't find Mandeep Singh and Prab Simran Singh in the same 11, or at least one of them, or maybe none of them.
Mandeep can still get a fit in. In my still in that middle order only, not at the top. Mandeep, Deepak Huda, Sarfraz can come in at number five, number six, sort of, and they actually not just one, even Prab Simran for that. They can even include two of them, but uh, the chances are slim depending upon the combination that they go. The only way they can accommodate both is dropping Mayank, and only if they drop Mayank they can go. Either it could be a like-to-like replacement of dropping Mayank and getting Mandeep to open or Prab Samran to open, and which actually had not yielded much of a result last year. So if they want to completely shift it and take some out-of-the-box approach, then I can see them fitting them in the at least Mandeep in the middle order.
Right. And last season, Arshdeep Singh proved to be their best death bowler. And this season, probably he won't find a spot in the starting 11 with the inclusion of Jhye and Meredith. And do you think that it will probably hurt a youngster's dream?
It will be unfair on Arshdeep, but I still think they can have a combination where they can fit in Arshdeep instead of Chris Jordan, get Moses in, and maybe that's an option. Uh, See, in this is completely my view. In completely flat pitches like say Bangalore or Bombay, where anyway the par score is 180 200, Chris Jordan bowling those 4 overs versus Arshdeep bowling those 4 overs is not going to matter much with respect. It's going to be 5 to 7 runs difference,
Right.
and and but the 25 runs that Moses can contribute to what Chris can contribute, Jordan can contribute, is going to be the difference. So I think that is where they can probably strengthen their batting a little bit more on pitches like those, and in slower pitches where the par scores are 150, 160, they can go with more stronger bowling lineups and
Right.
more proper batsmen and more proper bowlers.
Right. Do you think this is going to be a huge season and also a huge opportunity for someone like Ravi Bishnoi to perform and strengthen his case to be selected into India's T20 World Cup squad? Because we have seen that right now India is trying so many spinners and trying to find that right leg spinner who can take wickets in the middle overs.
Absolutely. So Rahul Chahar has emerged as the number one alternative for Chahal. So Bishnoi, if he has a he had a decent, not so good tournament, but okay tournament last year. If he can have a good tournament, leg spinner, and India has, I think, a romantic thing with going on for leg spinners. So if he has a good tournament, he stands a very good chance of at least be in the contention. So yes, Ravi Bishnoi has, I think, has a big role for himself. He has a big opportunity in front of himself. But
Right.
for purple cap, I would still back Mohammad Shami to be in the running, and his fortunes are very critical to Punjab Kings this year. And if he doesn't perform, it sort of upsets the apple cart a lot. And his form is very critical. And before his injury, he was in good bowling form. He had come
Right.
back in very good form in Australia. So I think he's my contender for purple cap. And
And will you
Nicholas Puran for
go with
orange.
KL Rahul for orange?
Nicholas Puran.
Oh, cool, cool. And Nicholas Puran is also your MVP. So,
Yes.
now
Yes.
coming to your emerging player. So, will you go with Shahrukh Khan or do you see any other option?
I don't. In your words, can we take emerging? Can we
Or
count
as an
Jalaj and
uncapped player?
uncapped player, right? So yeah, but Shah Rukh Khan, because he's going to get from whatever little tidbits I've heard so far from the media, looks like he's going to start. So I looking for Shah Rukh Khan to be that impact player for them this year.
Right. And so, will you put Punjab Kings in the same bracket or?
Some Punjab Kings, for them, everything needs to come together every single game. And that is the sort of scenario they are in there. Their core team cannot afford to fail a single game, and that cannot happen. Everybody is bound to fail. And if their core keeps failing, and unfortunately for them, four of them needs to click unless everybody is hitting like 100 centuries every single game. Or last year even that did not win them games, actually.
Right.
People scoring centuries but they still lost. But that's where I'm going. So they need to have at least six players performing every single game. I don't see that happening on a regular basis. But if they have their core delivering every single game, they get a chance definitely in playoff, because they have a very explosive lineup, and if they all perform on their given day, then they are definitely going through to playoffs. Uh, but since I have to make a decision here on to see give my opinion, I will disappoint the Punjab Kings fan, saying that no, I don't think that they will qualify for playoffs. And even though they are wearing the same jersey that RCB wore when they qualified for finals in 2009, I am still not going to give them that chance.
Right.